Hi, my novel is out. Darwin's Adders, a chronicle of pagan England, 2089. It's $5, just over $5 in the States. It's £3.21 here in the UK. If you go to Amazon Kindle and put in Stephen Hayes, you can find it. There's quite a lot of description of the book there. I would describe it as a speculative post-apocalyptic fantasy. There is quite a lot about the Christian religion in it, but there's a lot about Druidism, paganism, agriculture, SHTF, WORL, prepping, a lot in about prepping, a lot of thinking, a lot of philosophy about, it's written in 3 time zones, near future, 30 years from now and 70 years from now, and it looks at the collapse of Western civilization. Like a lot of my favourite speculative fiction, I prefer to use the term speculative fiction rather than science fiction or future fiction. But like a lot of my favourite speculative fiction, it tries to use a different place or a different time or a different setting to examine what's going on today. A lot of it is about what is happening today. I use devices like school classes, for example, in 2089 in a post-industrial, post-oil, post-silicon chip, post-electricity, and most emphatically post-Christian England, which is ruled by druids and witches and characters like travelling circuit judges, the comforters, they're regional comforters, answerable to the guardians, a shadowy group of people who are said to be in contact with higher intelligences, with more highly evolved cosmic beings who, in order to make themselves more readily understood to the ordinary people, have taken on the forms of the old gods such as Thor, Wotan, Vulcan, Demeter. The beginning of the book in my head took place in July 2009. I'd had no idea of writing a novel up until then. A month before, I'd gone to Oxford for a symposium about C.S. Lewis's speculative fiction, in particular the book Perilandra, Voyage to Venus. A number of papers were presented on the book by global C.S. Lewis scholars. I met some wonderful people there, some of whom I'm still in touch with through the Oxford C.S. Lewis Society. I'm a long-term hardcore C.S. Lewis fan, and I woke up a month after this conference with some ideas in my head, and I thought, hey, what about if after the last of Lewis's speculative trilogy, which is called That Hideous Strength, what if after that, what if in it the bad guys had won? One of Lewis's ideas in that Hideous Strength, which he describes as a tall tale about devilry, was the worst of modern philosophy meeting up with the worst of pagan religion and forming together, the worst of modernism, or stroke modern, postmodernism if you like, meeting with the worst of paganism, so the pre-Christian and the post-Christian meeting together and forming a very strong amalgam which became a really powerful dictatorship. And that's the setting of the latter part. In the earlier part you've got some conspiracy stuff, you've got some prepping, a lot of reflection on YouTubing, SHTF, WORL, NWO. There's a chapter which is all about a deer hunt. There's another chapter about a barley mow in which the whole village is involved in bringing in the barley harvest. There's a lot about drink, there's a lot about cannabis. Cannabis has emphatically become legalised in the future, and in fact it's more or less compulsory. All the reasons that cannabis was banned in the 2010s, it doped people up, it made them thick, it destroyed their work ethic, it made them easier to control. All of the reasons it was discouraged back then, in other words, now it's encouraged in the future. Life expectancy has fallen, as you'd expect. Abortion, euthanasia, infanticide, all come under the genetic hygiene and autonomy laws. The Bible has been banned, but there's some strange goings on in the woods. There's some interesting characters you can read about. I'll keep this brief now, wind this up. Yeah, it's priced a little bit more dear than my last book, but I had to price it realistically because I'm going to self-publish a paperback, which it won't be possible to bring that to the market for less than about $10, £6, and so I can't price the Kindle version ridiculously low. I put about 300 hours work into this. Obviously, I would like people to go and buy it, but you know, I can't tell people they should buy it. You might not like it. The sort of people who think Richard Dawkins is a really great hero probably won't like it, and I expect to see some, if the book becomes at all well known, I expect to see some negative reviews on YouTube, sorry, not so much YouTube, but on Amazon. Just a warning, if you post a negative review, do include some evidence in it that you have actually read the book, otherwise I may call BS on you. But I enjoyed writing it. The two friends who've read it so far say they enjoyed it. It's 120,000 words. I did at one stage get up to 179,000 words, but I've cut it back quite aggressively, and I've stored all the material I've written, so I've actually half written the next book. I had so many ideas, so many characters, I had such a big story I wanted to tell that it will be a trilogy. The first book, say, Darwin's Adders. The second book will be called Hecat's Daughters. And the last one will probably be called A New Iona, the symbolism of which may be clear to some of you. Anyway, I hope people buy it. I hope people will enjoy it. I'm not going to plug it endlessly here. If there is any interest, I will say where else it can be. I may plug it, but in any event, if folks have anything, if read the book and they would like to say anything about it, it's possible to do so up on the Kindle site. So, kind regards. Oh, I'm so glad to have completed it, for better or for worse. Okay, cheers.